Welcome back. Dylan and I are live from Manchester to talk about what an absolute shit show of a performance that was.
Yeah.
Manchester United have just drawn 1-1 at home to Wolves. So we're just, again, late Christmas present for the side who can't pick up a point to save their life. But we have thoughts. I know I've got thoughts. I know Dylan has thoughts. I want to know your guys' thoughts. So we're going to talk a little bit about the match because Dylan and I were just there. We just made the trudge back. It was much quieter than the trudge back after the Newcastle result. Except if you're a Wolves fan, because the Wolves fans were celebrating the entire time.
Yeah.
But in any case, we're going to talk about that. So you guys make sure you're a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel, you guys. And we're going to get stuck in, get involved in the live chat as we go along because I want to know your thoughts going on. So first and foremost, I think I want to talk about. I think I'm actually going to talk about Amorim's comments after the match because he. I'm paraphrasing, but he said something along the lines of no creativity, no chance creation. I forget what else he said, Dylan, but
Yeah, the big thing he said was there's no creativity. He talked about the formation a little bit, how they were gonna didn't feel that this was the match to go for things and stuff like that. And I'm like, what the heck
yeah, it was no creativity
was the big one?
is not the same as I didn't see the problem as no creativity necessarily, but we're going to come back to that. The big problem was me, it's just no ball progression, no vertical balls. We were sitting there, so we were about parallel with
We're
the 18-yard box.
we were 7 rows up, guys. It was fantastic seats.
7 rows up, about parallel to the
This guy right here.
18-yard line, 18-yard box, just in front of the Trafford end. So we had a kind of a bird's eye view, and just no one's making runs. No one's getting forward. No one's playing a progressive ball. It was just constant horseshoe passing all around.
And you could see, and we were talking about this, you could see Shesko would try once in a while, but he'd have three converge on him. Cunha couldn't get the pass because every time he tried, we'll talk about this in a second, he'd either get fouled, which they didn't call, or get the ball and then have to pass it wide because three guys would come on him. And then the wingers never made runs.
Yeah,
And it was terrible.
So we'll start with the first half because the first half wasn't as bad, but the theme of the first half was too slow.
Yep.
Too
100%.
too slow to get the ball out. It was too slow on the ball, and it just was back foot, just kind of getting caught too square time and time again. And fair play to Wolves, they cut out the middle of the pitch. They would not allow a lot of passes, and they were quick, like Dylan said, to smother anyone who was on the ball. It did not help, though. Again, theme of the night, cowardly, no backbone. Did not help that anytime we were on the ball, especially in and around their box, too many touches. Nobody knew what they were doing.
Yep.
Let me see what the chat's saying here. Danny's saying he's stubborn. Trinity Red Devil, welcome. Says you already know how I feel about this manager. Danny says Fletcher wasn't the kid to bring on. Yeah, Fletcher. I mean, he's got that fight in him, but he was a bit sloppy on the ball. Danny says Thwaites is far better. Trinity says Fletcher only team because. No, to be fair, both Fletchers have been very, very good in the academy.
And Fletcher had a good match in Newcastle. So.
Box Big Up says hot take Cunha been a flop. Not Cunha's best night. I'm not gonna lie though, and we're gonna talk about this a little later. The referee was absolute dog shit. Absolute dog shit. 5 minutes of added time was a complete piss take. Not calling any fouls. We were very, very close to a few of those fouls, and it was clearly foul. Bexy's in the house says I predicted a 2-1 to United, but a tough game. Wolves recently have been confident against big teams. United at the start, confident paid the price. Yeah. And so this is basically how the first half went, right? Wolves were happy to sit back off the ball. They were fine letting us build out. They weren't really pressing. They were fine letting us. What they wanted was to invite us to carry that ball out. They were cutting off everything, so all we kept doing was kind of carrying the ball a little further forward. And all that did was create space in behind, so when they did smother the ball, when they did win it back real quick, they would just hoof it. That's all they were doing. They were putting it wide. They were trying to get it to a Roca there in the box. And we played into it simply the same way we played into it against Aston Villa.
Yep.
And that to me comes to my first point is Amorim needs to learn from that kind of mistake. The result from Aston Villa. It was playing right into Wolves' hands. Boxish, Matato over Lacey. I I thought
Yeah.
I think I don't. It is what it is. It almost felt for a second there. The skeptic can almost say, well, Amorim's just trying to kind of butter up the fans by bringing on more youngsters. Um, but it is what it is. We can't shout for the youngsters and then get mad. Danny says the worst team in Premier League history playing the same system dominating our midfield. Fox says shout out Lamens saved us from defeat. Yeah, Lamens did really well. I thought he did kind of make a little bit of a howler in the second half, but that would almost cost us a little bit. But Wolves are very physical. What were your thoughts on Wolves?
We talked about this before the game, and we met up with Stu. Shout out to Stu.
Yeah, we did meet up with Stu. If you guys saw
Yeah.
some photos, I don't know if Jarvis put anything up yet, but yeah, we did meet up with Stu on the roof of Hotel Football.
Yeah.
Absolute
It's
legend.
awesome. Stu, shout out to you, man.
Yeah, it's big
Wait,
up.
this way for not. I'm in Manchester, but so we talked about it before the match, meeting up with Stu and everything. Wolves were going to be confident because they'd done well beforehand. They were going to be organized defensively, and they were going to look to get out on the press and try to come at. And what did they do? Everything we already knew they were going to do.
Yeah.
Everything we've seen against Arsenal, Liverpool, and we, just like you just said, we played right into it. We let them do that, and
Yeah, it was embarrassing. So first half, not great. We did get a goal. Obviously, Xerxes got his goal. You could tell that he needed a little comforting because he didn't look like super happy, but he was fighting. He was trying to get stuck in, and it was interesting playing Xerxes and Šeško together. I thought they're very similar styles. They're kind of big. They're kind of slow. They kind of win those balls. So is interesting. And I do. That's another criticism I have of Amorim is he's very quick to change the things he does when it's going wrong, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But it makes you wonder why he did it in the first place. Even against Newcastle, he was making changes that almost changed the changes that he made. It was so weird.
yeah, I didn't understand some of this stuff.
Yeah, it was so weird. And so here's a question. We'll get a little interactive here. Show of hands in the chat. Find your hands emoji or just say 100% or what. How many of you at multiple points throughout this match tonight, wherever you're watching from, either screamed at a wide player or an attacker to make a run, or screamed at the player on the ball to find the run? Because I feel like that was the refrain from everyone around us, was yelling at Dallo to get him behind, running, yelling at Licha or Casemiro. Casemiro, I'm fucking pissed at you, Mike, for that last run, not finding Montato was criminal. That was
And
criminal.
we're sitting there. I'm just saying, we're sitting there, and Sean and I are both standing. We stood up for this, and we're like, "He's open!"
It was absolute dog shit.
Oh.
He says the system is shit. Just screamed nonstop at everyone. Yeah, Dallo was getting on my nerves. He wasn't really making
He
any
had
runs.
so much space.
Well, there were opportunities for him to kind of make diagonal runs
Yep.
behind the back line and for Licha just to simply find that.
Yes.
But he kept curling in
Yeah.
and trying to make these straight runs that is just 100 times more difficult
Yeah.
to get on. It doesn't make any sense, man.
Yeah, because you and I both were yelling at him, because there were several times, and you probably saw it on the wherever you were watching. But we're sitting there. There's so much space that Dallo had on the wing, and they never. And that was, I'm sure it was on the other side. We couldn't tell. We were only on that right side. But Dallo had so much space. All he had to do was make the run.
Yeah.
And that, even if he makes it a couple times, now they got to respect it, and now that opens up more space. It's like, come on, guys.
Danny says sell Dallo ASAP. Yeah, Dallo just didn't look on it tonight. Bexy says the consistency thing is a lack of confidence still. They're so hot and cold. It's a mentality problem. And that's the thing. It was absolutely, you're absolutely right tonight, because the biggest telltale of a confidence issue is how many touches we're taking, especially in and around their box. Remember, we used to talk about this with Højlund all the time. All it usually needs to take is one touch to set himself up. Šeško gets the ball, other people get the ball, and it's touch instead of just one touch shoot. And it was just not good enough. And you're spot on, Bexy. It's complete lack of confidence. And what happened, where it came from, was us seeing early on that Wolves were not going to let us play that ball. They were going to smother us. And now we were too afraid of losing the ball with a risky pass that we kept playing the safe pass. We were too afraid of them cutting through us, because they did that time and time again. One pass, one ball carrier up from his own half into our box, basically, that we were too afraid to play the risky pass. We were too afraid of losing the ball to play the better ball when it was on.
Yep.
It just happened time and time again. Yeah, somebody please clean up the chat a little bit. I appreciate that, mods. Thank you, Danny. Backbox says watching us try to create something minus Bruno was painful. Yeah, it was painful to watch. I'll be honest with you. It was absolutely painful. So yeah, it was just time and time again, not playing that ball, and the missed chances were a big problem. How many chances does Shesko need to put something away? Like, you don't see the train. So we were watching the warm-ups, and the warm-ups were fine. Shesko was getting on the end of very similar balls, putting him in the corner, putting him against the side.
Yeah, headers go in. It was like, oh, he's on tonight. Okay.
Even Ugarte's putting in screamers, like his form, and then they get into a match situation and they completely shit themselves. And it's just not good enough.
Yeah, and again, practice pre-match training is a little bit different. It's not the same as match week, but come on, you're literally training for this.
So we had chances, we didn't put them away. Too afraid of losing the ball because our rest defense and just our midfield is absolutely shit to play the better ball. And it just seemed like it felt like Louis van Gaal. It felt like Ten Hag again sometimes. Sideways, put the ball in the box, and that was it. And so when Amorim talks about a lack of creativity, and I posted this in the chat on Jarvis's channel just a few moments ago, he needs to have a look in the mirror, because your job is coach, and coach is also a verb. Manage is also a verb. You have to have a solution. If you don't have your creative players, you need to find a solution for that. You can't sit there and just point the finger at the players. We didn't have the creativity. Well, figure it out. Figure it the fuck out, dude.
Yep.
Oh, God. Oh, shit. Bexy says the players just aren't good enough. Long and short of it, United need world-class players and sell players quickly. Yeah. Bexy says credit to Lamans. Yeah, Lamans did a fine job. Backbox says Ugarte put in screamers. He was. Just the technique during warm-ups looks. You wouldn't know that it was Ugarte if you watched him in the warm-up compared to what we saw.
I had to ask Sean, is that Ugarte?
Danny doesn't think Amorim's going to be here next season. Slim Chris says leads. I like to get the trollers. Big up original UF handle. Welcome to the channel. You are new. Appreciate that, you guys. If you are new, please consider subscribing. We are on the road to 3K. Please make sure to like the video if you guys are getting involved. As you can see, Dylan and I are live from Manchester. We took the kickabout on the road this week. We were at Newcastle and everything. We were back at the Airbnb just down the street. If I put the phone up to the window, you would be able to see Manchester, Old Trafford from here. But it's our last night here. We will be taking off early tomorrow morning, but we are soaking it in. It's been a very busy week.
We got we watched a lot of footy. We hit the football museum. We've done a lot of stuff, guys. We've walked probably 5-6 miles every day. So. When we do a kickabout next Wednesday, we'll throw some photos up there and whatnot, and we'll share some videos and stuff. Stu obviously took a video earlier and sent it to Jarvis. We've taken photos. We're going to talk about all the trip and stuff. Slim Chris, typical Man United fan. What up? I don't know what that means. Box says he's scared of Calvert-Lewin. I think that's a new low, man. That's an absolute new low. At this point,
yeah. Bloody Yave says, with the absence of the usual players, I see a sudden notable improvement with Dorgu, Shesko having a few others, probably more game time. Slim Chris, what do you think to Manchester? I don't know what that means. Speaking of Dorgu, thank you for putting that in there, Bloody Yave. What was the issue with Dorgu getting shoved off to the left-hand side and putting Dalot on the right-hand side after, obviously, Dorgu had a man-of-the-match performance?
Mm-hmm.
Dorgu was player of the week in the Premier League this week. Did really well. And again, that's an Amorim tactic. To me, that is Amorim saying the tactic tonight is to get this ball wide and put it in the box. Dorgu's a left footer, Dalot's a right footer. That's the plan. And you could see that was the plan.
Yeah, we saw it in warm-ups.
Yeah. We were trying to pull Wolves to one side, move that ball off to the one of the flanks, and then put it in behind. It's one-dimensional.
Yep.
That
was all
it's unimaginative. It's too bad. Oregon UF handle says, I have a question. We'll ask it. Slim Crest matching on together. I don't know what that means, bud. Box says Seshko has some neat touches, but at the end of the day, yeah, we need someone to come in and help us out. Now, I did read earlier, I forget where it was that we were considering maybe looking for an attacker, and we were considering maybe selling Xerxes only if we were able to bring in an attacker. I don't know, because obviously the talk is Xerxes going to Roma.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen yet. I'll have to get caught up on all the transfer stuff when I get back home. Obviously, I don't have my computer or anything, but yeah. Original, hey, ask your question if you got a question, man. Box says, oh, sorry. Danny says, clueless Dorgu was on the wrong side. Yeah, I didn't get that at all.
It didn't make any sense. And he didn't look comfortable. He doesn't look as comfortable on the left as he did on the right.
Yeah, I don't get that. And I don't get, and I think Mark on Jarvis's channel was asking, and it's a good question. There's the entire back line tonight was just left footers.
Yeah.
Like it didn't make sense. Now, fair play to Heaven. He thought he had a good match. He did really well. Dorgu had some good moments when he did come on as well. Looked a little better. Maybe he just needed to get taken out of the spotlight as well. But Licha was basically playing the Bruno role tonight as deep lying playmaker, which again, not ideal. Again, one dimensional.
Yeah.
It's get the ball, pass it to Licha, let him look for a pass, but too often he just wasn't seeing the ball.
No, and a lot of times those runs that were open, a lot of times, and I was telling you this, if you're looking where the guys were scanning the field, as soon as they got the ball, they'd scan the other side of the field. They weren't looking either back, or they'd look back towards that side. They wouldn't look where the run would be. So I don't know how many times you and I looked at each other, and they were passing through, and it was mostly Dallo, because Dallo was on that side. Dallo's wide open. The ball's over the top in the corner. Licha can make that pass. He's just not looking. He never looked.
It's just there was a complete disconnect from the deep players on the ball and the attackers.
Yeah.
It's just the timing was never on.
No.
Nobody was making the run when the deep player had the ball, and then when they were making the run, the deep player only had eyes for one. It was absolutely a shit show.
Yep.
Guys are talking about targets. I'm telling you right now, go get Jared Bowen on a cheap in January. He could do a job. Rever, welcome. He said, just got home from the pub. Yeah, it was a disgraceful performance. He says, on a positive note, at least none of you boys are coming home on. Yeah, I mean, it was 4 of 6 points, but what was that stat you just read off before we went live?
So right before we went on, looking at Everton, looking at West Ham, Bournemouth, and Wolves. We took 3 of 12 points.
Yeah, so Old Trafford.
Yep, at home.
Exact opposite of a fortress this season. It's not good enough. It's absolutely not good enough. And I said it in the description of the video. Like the Old Trafford is used to be a nightmare. Now it's becoming a day out for the family, for the opposition. They just show up and they can just do whatever they want. There's zero fear factor here anymore. Did you was it correctly that Sir Alex left early?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't even paying attention. There was a picture. He was like looking around, talking to people, and he didn't even care. Man. Which is frustrating.
Danny says, no midfield to feed the forwards, and playing Dallo wingback is like playing with 10 men. Yeah. Dallo was shit tonight. He was absolutely shit. Buck says, we only beat Burnley 3-2 with 96-minute Bruno pen as well. Yeah, it's not been good enough.
No.
It's absolutely not been good enough. We're getting outfought, we're getting outran, we're getting out-muscled, especially in midfield tonight. It was just too weak from these players. Now we're going to come to a part that's, I'm going to preface this. I'm not blaming the ref for anything, but I can criticize the ref without blaming him. The ref was shit. The ref was absolute shit tonight. So many calls were missed. 5 minutes of added time was an absolute piss take. Wolves were time wasting from the opening whistle, and they were waiting until their physios were like 15 yards away before they got it.
It's fine. Oh, we're good.
That was the plan tonight. Was just to shit house their way to a draw. Their fans were happy with the draw. Their fans were singing with the draw. And I'm pissed that we gave them the draw. I'm pissed that we gave them the point. Box says ref was weak. Yeah, the ref was absolute dog shit. Absolute dog shit. Just now, thankfully, he called a couple foul throws.
Yep.
And
redeemed himself there.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but are we the first Premier League side this season to benefit from the goalkeeper holding on the ball too long? Is that someone correct me if I'm wrong there, because I
haven't seen it.
I've not seen it yet, and so I was happy with that. I tried to get some videos of the corners on the Trafford end because we were right there, but unfortunately we didn't get any goals. So Bloody Ave says, horrible style of play and tied for 5th at the halfway stage of the season. Are we tied for 5th right now? Is that
With
what you saw?
Chelsea, so
Yeah,
sixth right now, but only on goal differential.
We could have gone one. Box's Wolves DVD coming out tomorrow. Right, highlight of their season is that 1-1 draw, all or nothing Wolves. Days we could be right up Villa ass if we had a midfield and Dalla was bench. Yeah, Matato was an interesting call, like some of you said. Lacey may have been, but Lacey's bigger thing is to cut inside and shoot. So with the game plan tonight, I think for me anyway, clearly being get it wide and put it in.
Yeah.
But
But for those of us in the stands, it's exactly what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
So
it was rough.
Matato had a moment there where he didn't do that, and we're all like, "What? You're what? I don't know how old Matato is, but he's like, you're the
He's
youth
not
player.
old, yeah.
Like, dude, just go for it. What are they gonna do? Not play you the next match?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Thought there was an opportunity for Fletcher to take a shot. Thought there was an opportunity in the second half for Dorgu to take a shot. He had done the dirty work, carried the ball at the edge of the box, and it was on his right. So I don't know if Dorgu just doesn't have a right or not, but he
Because we
could.
watched that when he cut in, we were both saying shoot, and then he lost the ball, and Wolves started an attack. So
Danny said poor subs ahead. Is Adrian welcome said these young kids are bums. Yikes, that's harsh. I thought Fletcher was very, very good against Newcastle.
I did too.
Rever says, I wonder what was the reason to bring in Xerxes off. What did Amorim say? Do you remember what he said? That we were chasing the game.
Yeah.
He says we were
So
chasing.
we needed less strikers out there.
No, and this is something Amorim said before that he says sometimes having more attackers is worse than having just one attacker because you have to have players who can find the attacker. And so I just thought for me, I would have maybe taken Chesko off if you're going to take off an attacker because I thought Xerxes looked like more like the one that's scoring because Chesko just wasn't happening for him and you can tell he's getting a little frustrated. Goals for George says he said it was tactics. Well, because Xerxes probably had to go off at halftime to pack his suitcases. You guys are funny. Yeah, I never said Xerxes was good. I just said tonight he looked a little better than Chesko from where I was sitting. Where you
I was just gonna say, I just thought Chesko would have offered more, but that would have been I would have backfired on me. I'm gonna fully admit it. Xerxes would have been the better one to keep on because
yeah, it was embarrassing.
it was bad.
So here's I want to you guys can let me know in the chat. Now I can't put up a poll because obviously I'm doing this on my phone, but when it comes to how slow we were in the build-up, how cautious we were, how just completely averse we were to playing vertical balls. Do you think that was an Amorim instruction, or do you think that was the players kind of a little bit shell-shocked after how just how physical and the Wolves were being, and how early on some of that poor defending gifted them some chances, and you think the players kind of shrank within themselves? The only reason I ask is because of Amorim's comments about lack of creativity. Who's the guy in the mirror says Rock Tap? Big up Rock Tap. That's Erickson. He's hanging out behind us right now. He's eating. JP from UK says Chesko is very bad. Chesko is struggling for sure. Yeah. He's struggling. Now, remember, this is what his second start since he came back from his injury, second or third start. I need him to step up, though. He's getting chances. But you can tell it's a confidence thing. He's taking too many touches. Don't you love that Dylan's wearing an Erickson shirt? That's hilarious. Box says Cunha been poor this season, too greedy, too slow to release the ball. Yeah, he was
not good at it.
He was definitely doing that again tonight, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
He was waiting for the contact a lot. I could see why the ref wasn't giving it to him, but the ref missed some of those calls. But,
the ref was shit.
Yeah, but he was waiting for something to happen, and then he'd get the ball taken, and then he'd just kind of, do his thing.
And goals for George, I do agree that Amorim is very risk averse. He is a bit too cautious. He is a bit too defensive. I think that he's too quick to try to shut up shop. I've said it many times. He's like a combination of Jose Mourinho and Pep. He's very strict and rigid with his system, but he's also very defensive minded like Jose. And I'm not saying he's as good, but I see those major qualities being in Amorim. I don't see a whole lot of risk. I don't see a whole lot of expressivity from the players and things. It's unfortunate. You can't play youngsters and not let them have a little bit of that, have a little go at people. Yep. Rob says he's frozen. Steffi's funny. Yes, he is a bit too cowardly, Danny. I had to completely agree. JP from UK says we need a decent striker, but also wingers to help. So maybe Lacey could have been somebody who would have taken somebody on. Now Matato is a fullback. He's not necessarily a winger, but it didn't seem like that was the plan tonight. Which, again, Amorim's he's not going to be here if he's going to keep playing this cowardly football because he can't lament a lack of creativity and then not do something about it.
Exactly.
Danny says he's not a United manager. Who would you pick, Danny? Let me know. Box says at least we have a break from playing in Old Trafford in the league next game. That'll be fun. I'm not looking forward to that.
No.
Goes with George says, did you hear the groan in the crowd when he brought on more defenders? Yeah. Were you
We
there?
were doing it too.
Were you there, Goals for George? Because they weren't happy with bringing on. Who did he bring on later on that they weren't happy about? I think it was
Euro.
When they brought on Euro, that's when we heard the groans.
For Heaven, because they didn't want Heaven to come on.
Yeah,
Heaven had a good match.
I think it was more that we didn't want Heaven off than bringing on defenders.
And I would say Euro looked better tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not what we want.
JP from UK says he will be sacked if it carries. Oh, he absolutely will if he doesn't learn how to find solutions to problems.
Yep.
That's really your job as manager. Your job is not really to train. Your job is not really to be players' friends. Your job is to find solutions.
Yep.
You have your system. Your coaches implement it, and you, as the match goes on, you should be able as managers to make changes that find solutions to problems. And Amorim is struggling with that. Big up, Demon Slayer. You welcome. Says hi.
How you doing?
How you doing? Boxes should have had Mount, Manu, Fernandes, DeLitt back for it. Well, we'll see. Hopefully. PB says, are y'all good? I can help. What's up? Hope you guys are good. Get a lot of newcomers. If you guys are new, please consider subscribing. We're on the road to 3K. This is Dylan and I's last live stream from Manchester before we fly out tomorrow. We've been here for about 5 days now, but it's been all in all, I think it's been an overall.
It's been a great trip.
Good experience.
I really enjoyed it. Now we are tired, the amount of walking, the frustration from the match, but it's been an awesome trip.
Capper, what's up, Capper? How you doing? Says hi, Capper. Xbox says United need help. We do. So here's the thing. We need signings. We need a midfielder in January. Robs wants to know, did Salford win? Salford drew 0-0. Yes, we were at the Salford match last night. We did meet a certain club legend. If you guys want to check out the post section of the channel, you can see a photo of who we did meet. So check that out and leave a comment with your thoughts. Jason says, hire me. For what? This isn't a business, my guy, but welcome. Ghost of George says, Amorim stumbles upon something that works and discards it for his next game. His insanity. Yeah, I worry for him, man. I worry for him. PB's got to go. Bye, PB. Have a good one. You need a job, hire me. But this isn't a business, man. It's a small channel. Maybe someday if we blow up, we can help you out. But keep liking, keep subscribing, keep getting involved. And if you want to get more involved, you can also check out the memberships. It's the best way to get involved in the channel in terms of content and contributions and whatnot. But so yeah, Rono, Salford did draw 0-0.
Yep.
Ennis looked good.
Yep.
He was very
some good runs down the right.
You can tell they look to him for a lot. He takes their corners. He's very, very good on the ball. He's a bit isolated, kind of like watching Scanlon for the academy. You can tell he's got it, but he just doesn't get the ball enough. And it's League 2 football. It is what it is. I didn't know that Nicky Butt's son played for Salford too. So
that was new. That was kind of fun to figure out.
We got some trolls in the chat. That's all right. We're gonna be taking off here in a second anyway because it's super late and we got to get up early and do stuff. But any final thoughts on this tonight?
We got a derby coming up, guys. Not on anything tonight, but we got a derby, and if we play like this, we're gonna lose.
Yeah. Someone said they're worried about Calvert-Lewin. Leeds, you never know what Leeds could do. Double A says, what's the topic? We're just reacting to the Wolves' performance and result, man. We're on our way out though here in a second. So, but welcome. Hope you're doing well. Goals of George says Cunha should be subbed if he is having a bad game instead of letting him drown there. The next manager will really use the academy properly. Interesting. Yep. And Bexy says we missed Mount tonight. Danny says final thoughts: sack Amorim. Leeds will show you how to play a 3-5-2. The Leeds could be interesting. Leeds could be very interesting. I'm not looking forward to that whatsoever.
Lewin's on a heater.
Fox says Leeds are full throttle pace, physical in good form with that crowd behind them. Yeah, this could get ugly. We just don't want top 4, do we?
No, we don't. Anytime we get close, we drop points.
Every time we have a chance to get top 4, man, it's gonna be rough. We need players back fit. Mount, DeLitt, Maguire, Manu, Bruno. I think Bruno will be back soon, but we need players fit. Cunha, we really don't have any options to bench. I mean, we already took off Xerxes. We can't take off Cunha as well. I mean, we could maybe have brought on Lacey, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's too little too late at this point. But it's just not good enough. At home, not good enough. From the players, not good enough tonight. From Amorim, not good enough. From the ref, not good enough. The ref was
Everything was not good enough tonight.
Danny says, Maguire DeLitt not going to make much difference. I don't. Your guess is as good as mine if it's going to make a difference. I think Heaven's doing really well, but it's that right hand side now. But Leacha's back, so I think Leacha, Heaven, and maybe DeLitt would be a good combination back there. I'd probably go for it the back too, but we need players back fit so we can have some options. But we need midfielders. We need to sign midfielder in January. At this point, fuck it, who cares? I don't just get anybody. Goal says with this win, draw, loss, win, draw form, we won't get 50 points if Amorim lasts.
No, because we just got to 30.
Yeah. Danny's not sure. Our box is not sure how to approach it. We'll do a little preview of Leeds later on this week. I gotta get home and then I gotta take a rest to catch up on sleep and whatnot because it's gonna be rough. But you guys, make sure you like, please. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are on the road to 3K. I think Dylan and I are going to wrap it up here. We're both exhausted. We'll have to get up early in the morning. We still got to pack up and whatnot. But I was happy to stop by with you guys. I'm happy to get your thoughts on everything, obviously. But very happy to connect with Stu, meet some fun people. And obviously, Dylan got his first experience here in Manchester at Old Trafford. So we will be recapping the whole trip on the next Kickabout, which will be next Wednesday. So keep an eye out for that one. We're going to share a lot of photos and whatnot. Rob Taft says, thought Dogu got a bit carried away. See, Rob, now, I'm going to disagree with a little bit because I think it was the exact opposite. I think there was an opportunity where he should have shot and he didn't. I think we were forcing it a little too much. But I'm totally here for the opinions and the perspectives, man. But we did have a good trip. Appreciate the safe travels wishes, you guys. Sammy Ungrim, welcome back. We'll look to see you on the next video, you guys. Until next time, please take it easy. Enjoy your night, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Please make sure you like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.
See you guys.
Oops.